I I don't think I ever actually drank either one of them because I found them kind of terrifying. But I
It
do
was the
remember them being
last one, though.
and I think the only time I had to deal with someone at a show at the bank who became like incapacitated and had to be like carried around. I think it was like a Four Loco incident.
Uh, can I tell a quick story? So
Yeah.
I used to live in a warehouse apartment that was a theater, and there was like a someone
As did we all.
the Annex Theater, and someone scheduled like a rave there. Like they like booked it as a rave. They had paid for it. Like okay, it was called Old Papa's Fish Fry. You may have heard Evan tell the story, and like nobody came, but they had like DJ equipment. Like it was like tricked out, like lights, like it was just like this crazy rave. Literally, it was like me because I lived there, like sitting on a couch, and this weird pornographer who used to live on the fourth floor was like sitting around, like talking. Old Papa's Fish Fry. No fish were involved. Anyway, they didn't make any money, right? But they still like owed us a little bit for some reason, and so they had like a billion cases of Four Loco that they also brought to this party because they were expecting a ton of people to come. So they were like, "Here, you can have a ton of Four Loco instead of whatever money is left over that we owe you." Like, okay,
End of senior year, there were definitely a few parties where I was just like, I cannot be around you anymore. This is truly awful. Like, I love you to death, and I still love him to death. But like,
I love you to death, and this is over.
and I will kill you.
yeah, one time we were playing Risk, and he drank like 6 Red Bulls to play Risk. Oh god. And then it would get to be his turn, and he would just like put on a show for a while the rest of us are just like, dude, this is a 7-hour game. You cannot waste your time like this.
So I tried to join on my phone, and my phone can't seem to figure out cameras. So I have about an hour left before I die.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So that's my silly situation, everyone. I'm sorry.
What are we
Did you
gonna
get
do?
your charger?
My main charger died. I bought something that it's a low flow charger
Uh-huh.
that fails to charge the computer really.
Yeah.
So I left it plugged in all night, and I have an hour's worth of juice now.
Yeah, that's you can't use a phone charger on a Chromebook.
No, I can't.
I can't tell if we're streaming or not. We might be.
I can.
Oh.
I love it.
Cool.
It's fun. I almost always go on the stream on my phone. Well, we're
Is it on
well,
there?
we're on here.
The YouTube is
Do you-
not giving
do
me
you-
feedback.
changed their
Do you just do it
streaming
without
plan.
audio?
It's on. Yeah, I think we're on.
Oh, and you can see our heads moving and stuff?
Yep.
Interesting. Well, then it started.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I'm going to. We can do this only for a little bit, and then I'm going to move that we just meet again next Sunday, if that's okay with everybody.
That's fine with me.
All right. What
I ruined the last one, so
what where were we? What chapter?
I
I think
don't.
we're on 5,
I think so too.
which is
Yeah,
a
we're
pretty good chapter to be on.
Like ninja training, have we? So.
Oh yeah, my bookmark is in chapter 4, at the end of chapter 4. So that makes sense.
So, well, I mean, so we're going to talk about Mucor for an hour, huh?
Yeah.
We have an
I'm-
hour.
It's so easy to talk about Mukor for way more than an hour, I think.
Mukor is, I think, like, I mean, I feel like at this point in the story, a lot of like deeply weird things have happened, but Mukor is like sort of like a watershed event where you're like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah,
I don't even understand.
Takes the weirdness to the next level.
Yeah, like I mean, I guess right before that you have the bizarre like what's it called, the talus, right? Where
Right.
it is like a tank with a face that talks, and stuff. And then
Which is really, I found it really hard to wrap my mind around the Talus the first time I read this.
Yeah.
yeah, and then there are all these like things that are described as like horned cats, and I don't understand.
But I do feel like, yeah, I feel like I think of in New Sun, I think of that moment where you're like, oh shit, is like, I think of that as the botanical gardens.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think Mukor is definitely like that of this book where you're like, oh.
Yeah.
I had a revelation.
There's more going on here.
I had a revelation about Mukor upon this reading, which maybe just was obvious to someone, or maybe someone disagrees with it. But so Mukor works through screens.
That's a big question I have, because she talks about flying out the window, right?
Right.
Which
But that's also the window that Severian got. Like, it's a physical, real window, also. Isn't it?
Is it?
I think that's a misunderstanding. I don't think so. I think that Mukor is talking about a screen, a monitor window that she uses, that she's able to download. She's a partially downloaded consciousness. She's almost a god. So she's able to download herself into the computer screen and then possesses people through sacred colors, through other screens that are her own.
Yeah.
But so wait. If we're going down this path and strictly in a technical sense,
Yeah.
then in order for that to be true, there would have to be a screen in Teasel's house.
Yeah, I don't have the companion volume with me, and I believe there's a fish pond or something around there.
But what if fish? I mean,
Yeah, fish ponds totally work. There's a fountain at Orpines, I believe, that acts as a window for Kyprus. Skyla uses Lake Limna, so bodies of water are often used as windows.
Or there might be a window there too.
That could be true.
There's a window at Ox Place.
right.
I think Wolfe wants it both ways, yeah?
You think what?
You might.
Right? Like, if there's
Yeah.
a fish pond near there, but then I guess Mukor. You have to look at a window. You have to be possessed. You have to, right? You have to look at it.
Right, because there's a partial possession because somebody closes their eyes.
Right.
Yeah. I think you just have to be in its presence.
I think you have to see the colors.
No, Connor's, that's exactly the opposite of what Connor's just saying, because Connor's talking about when Mint, you're talking about when Mint, like,
Yeah.
sees part of it and then closes her eyes, and therefore it's partially possessed.
Right. That's why she's possessed by Sphiggix, I think, but she always feels like she's herself. There's never a point where she's clearly Sphiggix.
Right.
And that's the difference. That's what the partial, that she gets some of the
I
qualities.
don't know.
She gets qualities of Sphiggix. So then does it go that part of Mint is now in Sphiggix?
Now that's a very good question. I don't think so, because it's a weird honor to be able to go to mainframe and be scanned, right?
No, but somebody says when they're talking about possession,
Mm-hmm.
they say that the way it is that maybe it's when the god leaves you. Maybe the god can't leave her now or something. But like maybe it's when that happens. But you always, if after a possession, you always have a part of the god, even after the god is gone.
Right.
But part of you goes along with the god when it.
Interesting.
Oh. That's cool.
But then what does that matter? Is that just part of like this like not hive mind, but like collective
Mainframe?
unconscious kind of concept that like, is that why the gods are slowly like changing? They're not changing, but things are happening in mainframe. Are gods changing?
I do think the gods change.
Definitely.
In fact, I have this weird feeling where I kind of feel for Paz in this story. I think that Paz is better than Typhon.
I think so, for sure.
That the infomorph is able to evolve into a more enlightened being than the actual original meatbag.
Yeah,
Grafted his head onto somebody else's body.
Paz is
Maybe
Paz would be like what Typhon thinks people want their god to be like, right? And then if he's legitimately like that, then he is benevolent, right?
I guess he's also freed from. I mean, what isn't the whole reason like Typhon kind of loses it and glues his head onto another person's body and all that would be because he's afraid of dying,
right?
And if he's like unmoored from that possibility, maybe that consciousness can do a lot better because it doesn't have this thing hanging over its head.
Yeah, I think maybe
it's obsessed with.
Although
it's a self-actualized Typhon.
Yeah, Typhon without the fear of death.
Yeah.
Though Paz did break himself into pieces and implant himself into humans.
Right. Yeah, so I mean,
so that's still kind of he grafted his
involved.
digital head into somebody else's body.
And then, but that would mean that the new Paz, right? Because it was hidden in some dude. In an augur? It was an augur, right?
Yeah, Patera Jaroba.
So that would make Paz, like, potentially, I guess augurs can be weird, too. Bad people. That now, it's like a different version of Paz that is, like, partially this dude, too.
Yeah.
With, I guess, potentially Silk's head, face, or, like, image.
Yes. I can't talk too much about this.
Oh. Did we go too far?
We're edging on the realm of the next book.
Yeah. Well, I think like 4 books ahead or something.
Well, I mean, short sell.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I haven't even read it, so I really forgot about it.
Anyways, that was something I started thinking about Mukor. Because it always weirded me out. Like, Mukor seems like a legitimately supernatural phenomenon, perhaps the only one we've found thus far. And I think that she uses the technology of this world. I don't think that she is a non-repeatable, unexplainable phenomenon. I think she makes sense.
Man, Mukor is just a really weird character here. Earlier we were saying that this is the point where it's like the oh shit moment in Book of the Long Sun. And Mukor has multiple traits that are bizarre that we're introduced to in succession here. Mukor, number 1, seems to be disembodied at first, right? So seems to be a spirit and describes herself as flying out the window and like flying around, whichever window, we're talking about. So in both senses, that's still pretty bizarre. Then we also learn that Mukor is the mother of Lynxes.
Yeah.
So Mukor can has a body, right? Must have some kind of physical, and does have some kind of physical presence, which looks skeletal and creepy. Mm-hmm. And at a certain age, and we don't know how old she is capable of giving birth to large predatory cats whom she can commune with. There's a lot going on there. Like, what?
Yeah.
There's too many superpowers. Stop the ride. Just and they're all pretty random. And just reading it, I feel like, especially the first time, but even rereading it, you're just like, what? Like, what is this? And it seems to be like just some kind of supernatural phenomenon here.
No, there's no reason that Mukor has to work in the exact same mechanism that the gods do to possess people. Maybe she can like fly.
Well, I guess
maybe we can use the window for travel and not, you know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I would assume that I think it makes sense that she would be using this sort of technology that is presented as the way that gods do the thing that she does.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess, I mean, do we get an explanation of why she's able to do that?
In the companion, I'm just reading this section. In the companion, it says she doesn't need a monitor.
Oh, really?
Does
but I
not
don't,
need.
it's not, this is not, specific for what it is.
We could also, like, every time we see Mukor, be like, this is where she is, and then try to figure out, is there always a window or body of water in the vicinity mentioned?
Otherwise, if it's not the window, what are we to believe?
Yeah.
That Mukor is just a ghost flying around?
Well, she can do it because she's a cold one. She's one of the genetically engineered people.
She's a cold one with the boys?
Yeah. Like Silk.
Oh, right. I was thinking, should we, like, assume that everyone whose parents are, like, it's unsure who their parents are? Should we just always assume that they're a cold one? A genetically modified cold one?
Probably. Every orphan has superpowers.
I think that Mukor is kind of like one of the kids from Willy Wonka in reverse. Which is the one that watches TV?
Mike
Terry?
TV.
Mike TV. I feel like Mukor is like the triumphant, positive portrayal of Mike TV.
What?
Just figured out how to use that TV to like get other places and experience other things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because like one of the first things we find out about Mukor is that like she shits on the floor of her bedroom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me feel like rereading this chapter last night that we go through this weird journey where Mukor like abhors her real body and like abhors the material world and prefers to spend time flying around in the ether, and that's kind of like Mike TV, a way of looking down on someone who sits and uses their imagination all day.
Mm-hmm.
But Mukor is like all the way for it. And when Silk says, "Hey, your body can come out. You can leave this place," she's like, she makes a concerted choice, and she's very clear on it. Like, no, I choose to fly around. I would prefer to fly around than make a better condition for my body.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's like elevating Mike TV's problem a little bit and being like, hey, something is going on important in Mike TV's head that has nothing to do with the material world, and it's still very important. And then when she has lynxes, now the metaphor has turned into like the person who sits and uses their imagination to fly around actually produces something fantastical out of it. Mm-hmm. Like something that, how is this even real, comes out of their womb.
I assumed.
I love what you just said, Ryan. I love it. Sorry, Mark.
Yeah. No, I know. I think isn't it implied that blood is sort of the reason that she's giving birth to the lynxes, though?
Yeah, the put them in there.
Yeah, like it's his thing. So is it something? Does that mean that it is a particular ability of hers to do it, or just that this is something that's possible that she's being kind of utilized for?
He just bought lynx embryos and then gestated them in her.
Right.
Yeah, I think it was the science thing.
And he didn't know what they were. He just knew they were embryos. And he was like,
just a crap
we gotta
shoot.
put them in a womb. My daughter.
Maybe Musk thought they were hoped they were kind of bird or something.
Oh, right, because
bird people. Yeah, you'd want to be able to.
He loves birds.
She kind of mentions that. She's like,
Birds
Musk
don't-
likes birds.
Birds don't gestate in wombs, though.
That's
That's
a
true.
very good point.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put that out there.
Yeah.
I
Makes
like
sense.
the weird little tiny bit they give us about the relationship between Mewcore and Musk. I think it's just that one line about like he gave me a book after the lynxes were born and told me their names. We connect on that level, but he likes birds and I like cats.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting that
Yeah.
cats chase and eat birds.
Oh, that is true. Well, and
Mewcore's more powerful than Musk.
For sure.
Yeah.
there's a definite family unit going on between like Blood is dad and Musk is mom and Mukor is the kid, and you can tell from their names because they're all animal byproducts. They're all bodily secretions.
Yeah.
I've just been very excited about that. The bad guy family is all named after gross shit that comes out of your body.
And Mewcore and Musk are like the beginning Mew is like so in your face.
Well, and they're both like inhumanly crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I also think, and Mukor is an exciting one because it's phlegm, but it's also a mushroom, and she's this person who travels between worlds. So she gets this name that's several things, like chenille, interestingly, because chenille's a plant and also an animal byproduct.
And a fabric.
Right.
That's interesting that mucor is a word for like a mushroom or some kind of fungus or something, and we know that mushrooms communicate with these sort of subterranean networks, right? Like that we barely even understand. But
well, and she looks like she's rotting.
Yeah, she looks like a skeleton, right? Like a creepy skeleton girl.
Yeah.
She has a very high Miyazaki vibe. I feel like the tittering, like her little laugh that sounds like a chill going up your spine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and plus, can we just stop and acknowledge that this is an amazing point in this book because it's first of all it's exciting because Silk is breaking into this mansion, right? And he could find anything when he goes into like a random window in this mansion, right? And he's like in the dark and he's like stalking around in the dark, like feeling against the walls, and then this little girl's voice is like, "Have you been bad?" And he's like, yes, yes, I have been bad. He just like answers that way, but it's creepy. Like it's so amazing and creepy.
So the vampires fly, right?
Right.
So if she could fly, it wouldn't be the only supernatural thing.
The vampires can fly for completely scientific biological reasons.
They have to fly from the planet they live on to the one where their food is, right?
Yeah, like the way their bodies work makes they have wings. They fly with wings.
What
They
if
don't
she's
fly with
related?
paws.
What if she's related somehow?
She's not.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like we can definitively say she is not. That Mukor is not in Hamu. She's a cold one. Blood bought her as a human embryo from storage that had been genetically fucked.
Yeah.
Who was she?
Humans don't know about Inhamu. And actually, one big question I have that I'm trying to figure out is how Inhamu came to be on the ship. I like this that the ship has been orbiting the stars for a decade. But I still want to have more of an eye to how the fuck did Quetzal get on board?
I mean, so they are the ones, like, they were already in this planetary system. and that's where they're coming from, right? Ostensibly. You're just worried about how they physically got in.
Yeah, I feel like there must be more information about that story told in the corners of other stories, and I want to figure that out.
Yeah.
Because for a little while, I had it in my head that Typhon sold us out to Quetzal somehow, and that makes no sense.
Yeah.
Not immediately.
Yeah.
What about through the air vents?
No, I just mean, like, how did the Unhamu come to, like, know, oh, hell, there's a spaceship full of new food up there.
Smell it.
Instead of flying to the other planet, let's go to it. And
Well, I mean, that ship is a pretty large size.
mm-hmm.
And it reeks of prey.
And also, as we have discussed previously, it is patently possible that some people from the world have already left.
Mm-hmm.
We've discussed that possibility before.
Yeah, I don't think that they have.
This could be like the 10th iteration of this story going on in Byron and not like the other towns, you know?
Mm.
Oh, that'll be something to talk about in the future too.
I mean, each town maybe has its own
I think
mechanism.
I'm going to disappear in a second, just so everybody knows.
Oh no.
Well, shit, damn.
So we do it again next week, same time?
Yeah. I'm really sorry about this. It broke suddenly yesterday. A new one's in the mail.
Well, we were very efficient today. If we stay with this level of efficiency, we can hit this and then talk about the monitor, maybe even talk about Hyacinth. We might be able to blow through it next time.
Oh, I would love to talk about Hyacinth. I have so many Hyacinths.
The next 3 chapters are full of like huge things that are fun to, like this. And we're not even done talking about Mucor.
We haven't even started almost.
We haven't started talking about Mucor. We've yet to begin talking about Mucor.
One of the most interesting characters in the book.
Definitely.
This is like becomes a rat-a-tat-tat of like supporting characters that are all got their whole own thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, he's making a good pitch for our viewers to come back next week.
It's an exciting section.
Next episode, everything good.
like you said, this is the oh shit part. I mean, like
right.
we're running now.
All right, so we just did the intro to the oh shit part.
The intro to the oh shit part.
Well. Okay.
Well, we've now slowed our progress to covering one chapter a month, or one chapter every 2 months, I think.
Look, we're not concerned with efficiency or speed.
It's true. Nor should we be.
Yeah, rigorousness.
Yeah, rigor.
Rigor. Depth.
That's what I
Gotta
think.
take it slow. Slow it down.
Oh,
right.
Connor, hey, did you try turning down your screen brightness?
Oh yeah, I'm operating on like the most power efficient mode that the computer knows how to get.
I
Your
figured you
phone
would be.
has a camera, but does it do audio?
No, it couldn't figure out anything. Like it would open up the chat and then say, "I need to use your microphone," and I'd say, "Okay," and then say, "I can't though."
Connor, do you? I should know that. Do you have a roommate with a computer or something?
I have no roommates. I mean, I might be able to use Anne's computer, I suppose, but I don't want to wake her up.
What about Ronsky?
Oh no, he got back from camping. I don't know.
I don't know that
I
Rosky has.
feel uncomfortable just going around and trying to shake laptops out of people.
That's fine.
You should. It's okay, or maybe it's not. I don't know.
If one of my neighbors knocked on my door, is like, "Hey, can you give me your laptop for the day?" I would feel weird about it.
All right, here's a crazy idea. What about walk to my house?
Walk to your house?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm just saying, we don't. I mean, we don't have to. I'm just spitballing here.
Probably like a 25-minute walk.
Yeah.
I would prefer to just meet next week. When I have a sensible phone or computer charger.
We probably should have thought about this yesterday when we.
Well, I did. I was hoping that this would get charged up so I could have 4 hours on it overnight, and that did not happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand why not. But
The demon in it.
I think you're just not going to get a full charge out of the way that those chargers work. Is like it charges in different phases and stuff. Like there's sort of an emergency charge thing that it will do at a trickle, but Chromebook's going to need more of that to get the full battery. So,
Well,
technology time with Mark.
see you guys.
All right, next week we'll do it right.
Oh,
Thanks for
Our
joining us,
guarantee.
John O'Neill.
yes.
Thank you,
And
Kristen
we're
Ketchum,
sorry.
and anyone else who is here.
Everyone.
All right, we might as well sign up because we're not going to be able to start into a topic